the ways that we show love, right, is by giving you amazing food and giving amazing food to our loved ones. Well, here it is. This is the Rastelli Wagyu Kobe-style sirloin steak. For the very first time, we're bringing you the Wagyu in the sirloin steak. Now, we've offered you, and you've responded to the Wagyu burgers, so much so that a today's special value sold out. But here we are bringing you the option of getting not one, not two, but 10 of these Wagyu Kobe-style sirloin steaks. Let me share with you what's going on, because this is from Rastelli. It is our #1 food brand. But among all brands, it's our #1 food brand. It is also voted by you twice the customer most recommended brand in 2019 and 2020. It is also the brand that the world's only 7-star restaurant turns to get their cuts of meat, Rastelli. So welcome on into the Wagyu. When we talk about Wagyu Kobe-style sirloin steaks, we're talking about coming from cattle that there are only 5,000 in the United States when there are 30 million heads of cattle to create the beef on your table. You're receiving not one, not two, but 10 of these 6-ounce Wagyu Kobe-style sirloin steaks for 5 easy payments of $40, and it ships to you for free. Now, I just want you to think about this for 1 second. When we presented our Wagyu burgers, we talked about Wagyu burgers, and maybe you were ordering them in a restaurant. A Wagyu burger at a restaurant, a very high-end restaurant, can be anywhere from $19 to $25. Think about that. We're bringing you a 6-ounce Kobe-style sirloin steak for $19, the price that you'd pay for a burger. Check out the marbling. You can see how flavorful that is. I'm going to welcome in my guest. His name is Ray Rastelli. We call him America's Butcher. He brings us the finest and the best cuts that he can. And this is the first time I feel like he's perhaps just outdone himself, because, you know, we're going into what is the highest of the high. As Alberti said, it's when the top of the line steak just became that much more rare and rarefied air. Ray Rastelli, come on in, friend.
Hi, Rach. How are you? Alberti, how are you?
Hey, Ray.
You are right about rare. This is by far the most limited steak we've ever brought. Now, we know our customers have loved the Wagyu burger. Well, this is the Wagyu sirloin steak. Not just any sirloin steak, is the most sought after sirloin steak. As you mentioned, only 5,000 Wagyu cattle that we raise right here in the Ohio Valley that creates this steak. And what makes this steak so special is that marbling. It is very, very limited at only 5,000 heads. So we have worked for over 7 months to be able to create enough steaks just to bring to QVC. This is not a steak we offer anywhere except in the finest steakhouses around the country. And I will tell you, when you go to a great steakhouse, you rarely will even see Wagyu, but when you do see a Wagyu sirloin steak, they price it by the ounce, Rachel.
Right.
They don't even price it by the steak. So it's an experience that you will have and you will enjoy. And I talk about some steaks being lots of things. This is a steak.
Don't
cook this any other way than a steak.
Steak. Let me give you an update, because I'm sorry, Frank, did you say we only have, I have fewer than 400 to go around. I have no auto delivery. So when we talk about rare, and that's a really itty bitty number. Now we understand, right? It's 10 steaks. The investment for you is, I love my mom. I love my dad. I love my brother. I love my sister. I love my niece. You know, we're getting together. We're celebrating. This isn't a steak that you're just going to slap on the grill and go, let it just do its thing. It is something that you want to baby and take care of, because you want to get that real amazing experience. Now, of course, you're going to cook it simply, but what I mean is it is a fine cut and quality of sirloin steak. It is a dining experience. Like when you go to the chef's table and a tasting table, right, in a restaurant, this is the type of level of meat that they'd have at a tasting table. Can you talk to us, Ray, about, you know, where Wagyu comes from and why it is so rare? Because it's Japanese cattle that originated it, right?
It is. You know, these originated in Kobe, Japan, and of course that's where they get the word Kobe from. And in 1970, these cattle were brought here to the States, and not very, very many of them. only about 5,000. We have been working with the farmers in the Ohio Valley for that long, and for that long, we have been bringing these Kobe steaks to really just the very, very best steakhouses in the country, including that 7-star hotel in Dubai. I will tell you, though, that for us to be able to get this many steaks for QVC, and as you know, they are very, very limited,
right.
We had to work really hard to get that done. And our customers who love that Wagyu burger,
right.
you are going to flip over this steak. This steak is just the most incredible steak. And you said one thing that's really important, Rachel. It will be an experience.
Right.
Because if you've never experienced a Kobe steak, take a look at the marbling in it. This is what makes a Kobe steak really a Kobe steak. The marbling inside there.
Yeah.
See that marbling is what makes every steak incredibly tender, incredibly moist. But the flavor is going to burst in your mouth like you've never tasted before. That's why it's so sought after.
It is tender. It is marbled, as he said. You know, again, if you're making a beautiful salad, if you want to just pair it with some amazing mushrooms, chanterelles, if you will, if you want to put it with a beautiful caprese salad, some street corn, now is the time. Now I have fewer than 300 to go around because I hear you. I feel you out there wanting to celebrate. M76333.
You know,
and
it's
to
so
make
funny.
an investment in a fine meal. Alberto,
Yeah,
come on
like,
in.
you know, Frank, everybody knows, Rachel and I always talk about Frank. He's our line producer.
He's our line
always
producer.
in our ear.
We love
he
to
was
eat.
just telling me he had the Wagyu burger for Father's Day, right, for himself. So, like, when I think about this, I think about, like, the best gift for, you know, a birthday, the foodie in your life, a dad, you know, somebody who loves a great meal. You know, I love a great steak, but going to the steakhouse frequently is not an option. Right? Nobody's paying $50, $60, $80, $100 for a steak. Once upon a time, Ray, I went to Miami, and there's a really, really famous steakhouse right in the heart of Miami that I went to, and that's the very first place that I had a Wagyu steak. And like, really, I gotta say, you couldn't get 2 steaks at that steakhouse for the price that you're getting 10 here at QVC.
I mean, you're gonna feed 10 people for $200. The finest quality steak that you can find that is so limited, that is, Ray, what did you say? Like, what is it, 4% of the cattle? Well, I don't even know what the math is on that.
No, Rachel, that's our Angus cattle. These cattle, it's 1/10 of 1%.
I knew the math was wrong.
It's tiny, tiny, tiny. That's why we're only really showing them and bringing the QVC, because our QVC guests have been really special to us. We want to be special right back.
Right. And it's a sirloin steak, right? So can you tell us, where does it come from the cattle, briefly, just so that I know specifically that I'm getting not only Wagyu, but the finest cut?
Absolutely. So this is what a sirloin looks like. Now you can notice we've trimmed this completely. And that's one thing I want you to notice on these steaks. They're completely trimmed from one end to the other. We then cut and first we age them for 45 days because we want that flavor to really burst. Once they're cut and completely trimmed, this is what you get. Each one is individually vacuum packaged. And what does that do? Seals in all the freshness in this. We blast freeze it. And then this is good for you up to 12 months in your freezer. Pull it out of your freezer, get it in your refrigerator, let it thaw out. Pull it out before you're gonna cook it, and actually just let it get to room temperature. Take the seasoning that we're gonna give you, sprinkle right on top and right on your grill. But it is an experience that you've never had before if you've never had a Wagyu steak.
Yeah, when you hear people at the table going, that's amazing.
You know
it is
why.
all going to be worth it. Like when they're like, this is the best meal ever. Ray, thank you so much for bringing us such fine quality meat. It's last call. It's last call. It is at 5 easy payments of $40. And remember, you're getting 10 steaks home that are 6 ounces and they're Wagyu. So you are giving the best and the finest quality to the people that you love. M76333 is your item number, shipping for free directly to your door. And Alberti has our big find winner.
Oh, we are so excited every time we